Hi guys, Thogrey here for a new video. In this video will be a tier list video for healers for patch 9.2.5 season 3 of Shadowlands. It is a PvP tier list video and I'll do 2v2 and 3v3 together, and you will see on the timestamps below whenever it's going to be the 2v2 tier list and whenever it's going to be the 3v3 tier list, and which classes I'm discussing and which specs I'm discussing at the moment. We will not do a meta-analysis because I see a lot of people are skipping over it. I don't know if you are interested or not, but let me know in the comments below if you are still interested in that part of the video, and I'll try to make a video about the meta and just an analysis on season 3 in like overall. So let's talk directly for 2v2, and the meta has changed a bit for 2v2, but it is also quite the same. So we will discuss about Disc Priest first. Disc Priest is a fantastic and fun healer to play. I myself play Disc Priest most of the time whenever I'm going to heal, but I also enjoy the capacity to actually do a penance and try to kill a target. Sometimes I do 20k penance in total to an enemy to the enemy team. So for example, a rogue, and he is kind of surprised and just cloaks just for me. So it's quite interesting to play. But I think the lack of CC is annoying to deal with in twos. It is very hard to play around because if you're playing versus a holy priest, they can just stun you, chastise, like a chastise, and then fear you, and then after they can do a mind control, and if they're playing Venthir, they can mind games you, so you will lose seconds, you will lose maybe a global because of the dispel. Yeah, and you cannot really avoid CC either, except whenever you're going to Shadow Death your enemy to avoid a polymorph or avoid a sap or a blind or whatever, but not the sap because you will need to be out of combat, but like for example a blind. But the problem is that versus a Chastise from a healer that has now it is a stun, um, it is very annoying to deal with. So for now, Disc Priest is underpowered. Let's recap real quick. S tier is God tier, A tier is meta, B tier is average, C tier is underpowered, and D tier means garbage. I don't know if a healer is garbage in twos. I think it is just underpowered. You can still make it work. It will be difficult. It will not be enjoyable to play versus Holy Priest like 90% of the time. But as a Disc Priest, you can do a lot of plays that maybe as a Holy Priest you could not do. Also, the DRs, the damage reduction that you can give to your teammates and to yourself is quite nice. It just outside of those CDs, outside of those capacities to actually survive, it is actually annoying to survive and to deal with Fury Warriors, for example, or Havoc Demon Hunter that is actually just keeping on you, for example. Or for example, an assassination rogue that does sepsis vendetta. You don't really have anything to protect yourself except pain suppression and big dome. So it's actually very hard to play Disc Priest at this current meta, but very fun, and I can still recommend to play it if you like the kind of gameplay that Disc Priest can give. Holy Paladin. Holy Paladin is, for me, in twos, a bit worse than in threes, and this is why I would put them at an average tier. I'm maybe a bit too harsh in twos, but in twos, your AoE healing is still good. Don't get me wrong, but it's better in threes. And your utility overall is better in threes than in twos. You have also a lot less CC than the other healers. And if you are going for CC like Repentance or Blind, it is either a very big CD like Blind, it's 1.5, and your stun will be a 1 minute stun, or you go for Repentance, which is a good ability to press and to actually sustain on the enemy team, but you can get kicked and get punished because of it, and your stun is still 1 minute, or you play this small stun, which is a 30-40 second CD on your stun, which is very nice, but you will lag the CC that you can actually need versus a survival hunter, for example. Holy Priest, S tier. Do I need to even start on their kit? I think everyone knows what they are capable of. pretty much they have a stun, they have a fear, they have a mind control, they have the capacity to actually guardian spirit you whenever they are stunned. They can also just save you with Ray of Hope and then just Serenity, for example. They can also jump in the sky if they feel like they are going to be the kill target. They can also play the Lego that makes them also rest back whenever they die. So if they are playing versus a highly susceptible comp to go for the healer, then you can play this legendary, and if not, you can also play the other legendary, which reduces the CDs on Serenity, Chastise, and other important stuff for Holy Priest. So for now, it's got here. Do they need to get nerfed? I think they need to get nerfed a bit, but the other healers need to be on par with Holy Priest, because either Holy Priest can heal it or cannot heal it, but the other healers don't have that option. Sometimes they just try to heal the enemy, the targets, and it doesn't work. So for now, Holy Priest S tier. Mistweaver Monks, I feel like in twos they have a place because they have great CC, like they have leg sweep, they have paralyze, but they also have Song of Shiji. But you need to kinda give up Ring of Peace, but if you're giving up Ring of Peace, you have an extra CC possibility, and you can CC by yourself, and then your teammate can also CC afterwards, for example. So for me, it is close to A tier, but it's in front of Holy Paladin. I'm going to say that the throughput healing of monks is very nice. You have also two good legendaries, which is the TP legendary, where whenever you're stunned, you can TP, for example, away, but you also then can TP back where you were, which is also nice because of the PvP talent. Whenever you can TP when you're stunned, a rogue can go on you and think, okay, we got the monk will die, you TP back, he will go towards you to finish you, and then you TP back to your teammate and you are safe, pretty much. But the throughput legendary is probably the best. If you want to do a VV5 of 20k, for example, you will need the throughput legendary, which gives you a 60% extra healing on VV5, for example, which is very important for throughput healing. But if you want to survive and you feel like you're the kill target, you can play the TP legendary, which gives you more mobility and more outplay potential. Resto Druid, for me, it is A tier. I don't know if they are S tier. I think they are A tier. They have a lot of CC potential. They can play Feral Affinity, which is basically an opportunity for you to kill targets and to CC targets. You can also play the Convoke build, which is revolving around crit, so you need to have crit stacked, and then you can convoke someone with feral affinity or with the boom affinity, and you can pretty much solo someone alone if you have the outplay potential. If you want to know more about that playstyle, I would say, of Convoke with Feral Affinity, I would then suggest to watch Markers. He's one of, if not one of the best Resto Druids on YouTube, at least, to explain things and also test builds out. He has also a Twitch. He streams, so you can always check him out. And personally, I always watch him because I like his Resto gameplay, although I cannot really replicate myself. I also play Resto Druid, but more conservatively, so it means that I'm not going for the kill most of the time. I'm more a passive healer as a Resto Druid. So in twos you have more possibilities to actually do damage. In threes it's a bit different, but if you want to CC, you can also CC. You can also do very good throughput healing, and you have also a lot of tools to survive by yourself with Bear Form, for example. Resto Shaman in twos, I feel it's becoming better and better, but they are often the easy targets to kill. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to be controversial, but I feel like now with all those buffs going on for Resto Shamans, they are in a very good spot. It means that they have good throughput healing because of the totems with your tier set. You also have good DRs with the other totem. I don't know how it's called. Uh, which reduces the damage taken. It's a talent, and they also have the Earth Elemental Legendary, which does a lot of damage. Or you go for the Earth Legendary, which gives you more throughput healing. So for me, it is a, I would say it's a B plus. So I'm going to add B plus. I'm going to write it like that because I don't want to stop the recording. Oops, my bad. So it's gonna be B plus. And I'm gonna add the Shaman to the tier above. I don't think they are meta. I think they are close to meta. If they are getting a new buff, for example, they might just be meta. But for now, I think Resto Shaman has the utility to actually be useful versus casters because they have a interrupt, which a lot of healers don't really have, except if you're playing with a protection paladin. But is it a healer? Is it a DPS? Is it a tank? I don't really know. I think if I need to put protection paladin somewhere, I guess it is a B plus healer and a B plus DPS in twos at least. But Resto Shaman is very, very good. You have a lot of utility. I think the only problem that you could have is to survive damage. But versus Fury Warriors, for example, you can root them, you can snare them, and then just walk around pillars, and they cannot really touch you except CC. So there is a lot of outplay potential by yourself. You have good CC. You also can play the no CD hex, which gives you also more CC, so you have a lot more possibilities as a Resto Shaman to carry games, and I think this tier list is perfect for 2v2. So let's now jump to 3v3. So now we are on the 3v3 tier list, so you saw on the timestamps, and we are going to re-explain, so some people might skip over 2v2 because they are not interested for 2v2, but S tier means God tier, A tier means meta, B tier means average, C tier means underplayed, and D tier means garbage. If I'm adding another tier because I feel like I need some distinction, I'm going to explain also what the tier is and what it means for the tier list, for example. So Disc Priest. In threes, I think it is better than in twos. The reason is you are not reliant on CC as in twos. In twos, you need to be more active CCing the targets, trying to participate with the kills, trying to participate with the downfall of the enemy team, for example. But as a Disc Priest, in threes, you can actually carry games because of your damage, because you have high damage whenever you get Dependence proc. I think for me it is at least more damage than Holy Priest. I would not play Kyrian. I would play still with Mind Games or Night Fae. But for me it is a B tier spec. They have good AoE healing, but also good single target healing. They also have atonement healing, which is also AoE healing. You have also a lot of good damage if you get the procs. You have also good buffs that you can give to the teammates. I think it is underpowered. Of course, H Priest is a lot better and feels like a cheat code whenever you're playing H Priest, whenever you are disc main. But you can make it work if you only want to play Disc Priest and not H Priest. But the only problem I see is it is just not rewarding to play Disc Priest compared to a Disc Priest. Whenever you have two specs that are competitive, the one that is most competitive will take over, and that is what happens with H Priest. I'm going to talk directly about H Priest right now because I feel like I can give a better distinction. It is God tier because of the CC potential, the CC I would say avoidance with Greater Fate, for example. You have also good throughput healing, single target. I guess for AoE it's a bit different, but you also have a Ray of Hope that can stop damage and healing for a certain period of time and gives you 50% more healing, which is not negligible. And whenever you're going for Guardian Spirit and with a Serenity, pretty much Ray of Hope will just do his job. You can also jump in the sky if you feel like they're going for you. If you feel that they are going for you, you can go for the Lego, which gives you a res. You can also just play the throughput healing Lego, which gives you more serenities, more chastise. Your chastise by itself is obnoxious to play because the range that it has is really, really stupid. Um, there is no real reason to not take H Priest whenever you are Disc Priest, for example. You, if you want to, if you don't mind play H Priest, you should just drop, I would say, Disc Priest and go for H Priest. If you mind playing H Priest, I would just stick to Disc Priest and try to make it work. So if you mind playing H Priest, just stick with Disc Priest and you can make it work with a few comps. If you don't mind, I would just then suggest to change, for example. That's how good it is. I think it is by itself a tier out of this world, I would say. In trees, I would say Holy Paladin is a lot better, so it's meta. They can AoE heal. They are very good versus casters because you can actually free them your targets, but also give a AoE healing to everyone, so you're also good versus cleaves. You also have sacrifice, you also have bobs, you have a lot of utility, I would say. You have a lot of oh shit buttons. Um, your throughput healing, I would say, is more important than H Priest, although it stops at one point and then it needs to be rebuilded to a point where you can heal targets, for example. You don't have Ray of Hope, you don't have a range stun, like a 30-yard stun, I would say. You don't have a fear, AoE fear, you don't have those things. So H Pala is for me meta, but not god tier because obviously it has some weaknesses, and you still need to think whenever you're pressing heal because then you have a downtime that can occur, and then it's very hard to heal your targets. Mistweaver monks, I would say in trees. I'm a bit sick, my excuses. Mistweaver monks, I would say they are still good in trees. They have crazy throughput healing, but like in twos, they are average. They are average, I would say, in front of disc priest because Mistweaver monks have a lot of good abilities to actually stop casters to actually cast. You have Ring of Peace. You can play Song of Chi, but often than not, you will not be able to cast it. But you can play Ring of Peace, push someone off the ledges, try to give some breathing space to the casters that you can play. If you're playing Mistweaver, please play with casters. That will make your life a lot easier because they will not interrupt you, they will interrupt your casters. And if they do, then your casters are free to actually cast and do a lot of damage. So that's a positive thing. You also have alright CC, I would say, with Black Sweep and Paralyze. The only problem that you can have with this is actually messing up DRs for your team, but also you need to be melee for Lick Sweep, and often enough you don't really want to be melee. You can play the TP Lego, like I said, in 2-2, so it makes basically unkillable for rogues whenever they are going for you and you have your TP up. But you have also the throughput healing legendary, which is better for throughput healing, and then you can do 20k VP5s, and pretty much they are not getting killed if whenever you're going to cast. So there is two good legendaries that you can swap to, and I would recommend to only play with casters. You can make it work with melees, but in my opinion, I've played a bit of Mistweaver these days. I like it. I want to actually improve with it. I like the playstyle, I would say. It just misses about a bit of damage and a bit more agency to the gameplay in trees, I would say. But if you're playing with melees, you will get interrupted, you will get CC'd, you will be annoyed by the other melees, I would say, or other casters. But whenever you're playing with casters, you are kind of free with casting, because if they are not CCing the teammates, and they are not interrupting your teammates, or they are not silencing your teammates, then they're silencing you, but then they are free and they can actually one-shot people. So it's a win-win situation. That's why Resto Shaman also is very good with a melee cleave, because they can also interrupt from range, while the melee cleaves, I would say, like Warrior and Retribution Paladin, they cannot interrupt from range. So that's why Resto Shaman is very good with them, and that's why Mistweaver is very good with casters, in my opinion. Resto Druid, for me, it is becoming A tier behind Holy Paladin. I think the gameplay and the meta around melee cleaves and around those kind of comps and specs is actually very favorable for your Resto Druids, because Resto Druids have a easier time to actually escape CC, escape the melee cleaves. But in general, you also have Bear Form, which gives you also some security, although it is not what it was in Season 1, for example. I think the combination of half mastery, half haste is maybe the best that you can have with Resto Druid. You also need to don't really mind versatility. Versatility is not made for throughput healing. If you want to throughput heal, you need a lot more mastery, you need a lot more haste. And I think if you are between 20 and 30 versatility, it's already fine. And then you need to go for mastery or haste. Of course, versatility is nice for damage if you're going for damage, or a bit more survivability. But I guess the difference between more healing and more survivability is actually very big. I prefer more healing in general. So, Resto Shaman, I think they are in a good space at the moment. They are very good into caster cleaves. They are also alright versus melees because they have the tools to actually stop melees to be very cleavy. Um, they have, of course, the possibility to go Kirin, so you have some damage. But you also can go just Necromance and Necrolord, and then you have a lot more possibility to make your team survive damage, I would say. So for me, it is behind Resto Druid. It is actually surprising how more Resto Shamans we see these days. Of course, Resto Shaman, my bad. I think it needs another row. It is B plus. For me, it's not meta. I would say it's close to meta again, like in twos. Um, but they are not on the level of Resto Druids and H-Pala. Although these days, Resto Shamans don't really cast anymore. They cast a bit, like healing surges here and there, but they don't really cast the healing spells to actually heal. They actually cast more Lava Burst than their healing spells, for example. They have a lot of good tools, but I think the CDs on it is very important. Also, the skill gap is very important between those other healers. You really need to be playing perfectly to actually make it work. That's why it is close to meta. B plus means close to meta, but it's for me above monks, above disc priest, but behind Resto Druids and behind H-Pala. And the gap between S tier and A tier and B tier is very big. So with this tier list, S tier and A tier, they are not close to each other. H priest is like beyond god level, but I'm not willing to put S plus. I would say here S plus. Like if I need to pronounce it a bit more, this tier list revolves around H priest being above everyone, and then you have the H pala Resto Druid, which is kind of the normal level of a healer and what a healer should be, and then you have B plus and B tier, which needs some buffs to be on the level of H pala, and H priest needs some nerfs to go to the level of H pala, for example. So this is my tier list for trees. Remember, you have the timestamps below. I like the meta, I would say, but I don't like the inability of healers to actually heal. I think H priest has the best possibilities to actually climb easily, I would say. If you want to have fun, you can play those other healers, it doesn't matter, but you need to understand that there is really a power discrepancy between this healer, this H priest, and the others. I think it would be a very good thing if they actually nerfed H priest and buffed the other healers, and I think the meta would change also to that direction, for example. But they need to nerf some classes to make it work, and some classes are really countered by others. Like for example, Disc Priest having no CC makes it very difficult versus specific classes, and then versus specific comps, you can win as a Disc Priest very easily because the lack of CC of the enemy team, for example. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked it. I'm having a cold, so my nose is a bit stuffed, but I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment below what you think about this video. Let me know, of course, what you want to see in the future. I'm actually preparing a few videos for in the future, but I'm quite sick and it's very annoying to play around it, I would say. And yeah, I wish you a very good day. Subscribe to the channel if you like the videos, and also like the video if you really like the video. I appreciate it, and we will see each other very soon. Bye.